Hey everyone. So it's a rough day today. I'm kind of dying. Just kidding. I'm not really, but I mean, I didn't have time to wake up and make a shower. Take a shower this morning because Tegan needed French toast.
These kids, I swear.
So high maintenance. I mean, and then I feel bad if I can't make her French toast. Like, what kind of stay-at-home mom am I if I can't make my kid French toast in the morning? So I did, and then I couldn't take a shower and do my hair. So now I'm in this thing, and I'm trying to fluff it up more, and then she tells me I have a beehive, so I have to fix it. Well, she fixed it. Malia's boobs are too big. This is Malia, by the way. I'm Cody, and this is the Sanity Reporters. So now that we got that out of the way,
so now you know who we are.
Yeah, we have a baby over here who's not happy. He needs to go to sleep. He just interrupted our last show by pooing, and Malia, the mother, was like, "Oh my God, it stinks so bad." Which, I mean,
it did. It's not true. That's a true story.
True story.
Yeah.
So I feel like I need to talk quiet because the baby needs to go.
No, it's okay. He needs noise. He needs to be able to sleep during the loudness.
Okay, good plan. So also, I mean, it's the end of the year, and it is so crazy, hectic, busy for those of you who have children. Used the wrong word there.
End of the year school stuff.
Crazy town.
Yeah.
I'm so tired.
Deep breath in.
Exhale. And also, I bite off way more than I can chew.
Well, that's because we're related, because I do the same thing.
Me too. I find these cute projects, and I'm like, oh my God, I could totally do this. Yeah. And then it's like midnight, the night before they're due. My eyes are bloodshot, and my body's so tired, I can't stand it. But I have to get those graduation caps done for the kindergartners, because they're going to look so cute. Ay. Okay, so this week is responsibility, and it's a different type of responsibility than those who don't have addicts in their family feel. Because I have responsibilities as a wife and a mom, and as a daughter, and now doing this YouTube channel, I have the responsibility to be here 20 minutes before my kid goes into school to have awards because there was no other time to do it. We all have responsibility, and we know what that's like, and we know that it can stress you out if you let it. But then there is the responsibility that you take upon yourself when you feel the need to carry it for someone you love.
Yes.
Or to protect someone you love.
Right.
So that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. What that type of responsibility does to you as a person, does to you as the person who loves your family. So I would be curious to hear from parents on this perspective. I know as a sister, I've felt it for years. I felt the responsibility to protect them from our community that was gossiping about them.
Right. Whether
it was true or not, I felt like I needed to take on the responsibility of protection. Take on the responsibility of when money was borrowed and wasn't paid back. Because we live in such a small community, I felt like I needed to take on that problem. I also felt like I needed to take on the responsibility of I forgot where I was going with that. I'm sorry, something else jumped in my mind and I got off track. But anyway, so there are times where we take on unnecessary responsibility for our loved ones, and it's hard. It's
very
really hard to keep that up, because not once have I ever wanted to say, you know what? That's their problem, not mine.
Right.
When somebody comes up to me. Not once. I've always felt responsible to take on either, whether it was just, listening to somebody vent to me because they were wronged, or apologizing for my sister. It's a big responsibility when you take on the responsibility.
Right.
Make sense?
Yes.
So can you relate at all to any of this as a daughter?
Absolutely. Having to take on the responsibility of explanations to people is huge. I mean, when people ask you how your mom's doing, you want to say she's fabulous. best she's ever been, when in fact there's been times where you know that she's not. But you want to be responsible for her happiness, and you want to show people that it's okay. Right. Or even, like you said, financially helping out, or whatever that may be. We take on that responsibility role, which is another word for enabling. But that's what you do when you have a family member that's an addict.
So on Sunday, we went to church, and the sermon was about, gosh, I'm blanking right now. I couldn't even tell you what the sermon was about.
Rough Sunday.
But it really was. Whatever it was put my husband in a bad mood, and we had a bad afternoon. But it's learning from your mistakes was a big part of it, and not only saying I've been there, done that, so now I know better, but to be able to say I've been there, I've done that, and I learned from it, and I'm going to choose not to do it again.
That's very hard to do.
It's extremely hard to do. And my point of bringing this up is because he also said that you have to find fault of your own in situations. Blaming is not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to give you your peace of mind that you need. So I started thinking, what kind of hard feelings am I harboring that I need to let go of, and where can I find my fault, that, my piece of the puzzle that I did wrong, that I need to forgive myself or figure out. Holy Jesus! I don't know what to do.
Don't flick it towards my face.
What did you
I flicked it down on the ground.
Are you sure?
I'm positive I saw it fall.
Yes. Did you see that spider on her? Oh my God! It was so big.
I feel like it's from this blanket.
Oh, it scared me.
I'm using Taken's blankie.
It just got really hot. Oh, look at my neck is all red. Okay.
All right. Taking on your piece of the puzzle.
Yes. Okay. So then I started thinking,
spiders, kids,
ain't got nothing on us.
Babies.
Oh, and he's gonna cry.
No, he's gonna not cry.
I have a hair in my eye. Good Lord, this thing is not working. Okay. So it got me thinking, and what I started thinking about was, my sister and her daughters moved in with my family and I, in 2013, I think. And it wasn't working. We found out that she was using while still living with us, and I couldn't let my kids live like that. I was scared to death that she was going to bring something into my home, and my son was 3 at the time, so that wasn't working for me. So I had to ask her to move out, and that alone gave me so much anxiety because I felt responsible for my sister. Where was she going to go? What was she going to do? That shouldn't have been my responsibility, but I took it on, and I felt awful asking her to move out. And at the time, I can't believe I'm admitting this to the world right now, but at the time, I knew I should have convinced her to let me keep the girls.
Back in 2013, you're saying?
Back in 2013, and I didn't do it. I wasn't prepared for that responsibility.
Right.
And I, 3 years later, have been caring for them for 2 years now, almost 2 years. I still feel so much guilt over that.
For not taking them in then.
For not taking them in then.
Why do you feel guilty? What?
Because they had a decent childhood. They were well taken care of. Until they weren't anymore, and it was at that point that I asked my sister to move out that she started falling backwards heavily again. And then the kids, it had gotten to a point where somebody needed to step in and get those girls. And that's when we did that. But they wouldn't have had to go through so much. And I mean, and honestly, I don't even know that she would have said okay. I feel like she would have because of how she was at the time. But she may not have, but I'm still holding on to that guilt.
Right.
That I didn't take on that responsibility of caring for my nieces.
Do you, now with us doing these shows, do you feel that's something you can start to let go of?
I think that I just realized it. So I think that now that I've realized it, and the more I think about it and am aware that for whatever reason, not for whatever reason for this, I am a firm believer that God puts everything into place in my life. And so I feel strongly that for whatever reason, I wasn't supposed to have them yet.
Right. I totally agree with that.
So I really have to focus on that to be able to let it go, though, because it does hurt my heart so much. So, so there is that, because there is not everybody has the opportunity or the ability to care for children that are not theirs. They don't have the finances to help out a loved one to get them clean and sober.
Right.
We're facing that. My sister gets out of jail soon, and my dad and I believe that if we don't help her, she's going to fall right back, because where else is she going to go? She can go out on the streets or into a crack house, because there's not many options for her at this point. She's burned a lot of bridges.
I'm sure.
But so who's going to do that? My dad? I mean, yeah, he is. He's going to move in with her, but financially, until she can get on her feet and get a job, my dad's self-employed. He's near retirement. Like, he's not just throwing money around.
On another person,
an
adult.
He could, but he would have to like stop living his life the way he likes to. So that's not fair to him, and that's a responsibility he has to take on.
Yep.
Because who else is going to do it for him? And then I feel the responsibility to help my dad, so he's not so put out.
Right.
It's a big old hogwash
It's a circle.
mess.
And it's hard. And it's hard to know the right way to do it. It's hard to choose the right path. I mean, at the end of the day, what's best for everybody? And that's a really hard... There's no right answer, I don't think, because as family, you're going to take on the responsibility, whether you want to or not, whether it's hard or easy. That's what you're going to do, because that's your sister, and that's your sister, period, you know? But it doesn't make it easy. The responsibility of adding financially another person, emotionally, somebody who's going to need a lot of emotional help, at least for a while. That's a big responsibility to take. But we do it.
And then not only that, but I have the responsibility of making sure the girls adjust well to her coming back into their lives.
How do you do that? I don't know. I can't imagine what it's going to be like for you to figure out the amount of time to put into the girls with the mom and trying to figure out all the emotion of it, and that's going to be rough. It
is going to be rough, because, I mean, we could have the court order it and tell me what to do, but honestly, they don't look into your... Once they investigate you, you're done. Like, it's just pretty much across the board. Okay, you can see him every weekend.
Right.
What do you want? All right, we'll do that for you. You don't want her to be around her children?
Yeah, what kind of person are you?
No, I don't. I didn't want her to be around her children at the time.
Yeah.
They've lived with me at the time for a year and a half, little over a year. And I knew that it wouldn't have been good for them, and it wasn't good for them. No. She started coming around, then she went away to jail.
Yeah.
Did the court tell me that it was okay for me to make that decision? Nope. No. I didn't get that decision. I was the bad guy. So we really are on our own. You have to make that decision yourself. And I mean, geez, I don't know if I'm making the right decision. I'm not a pro at this.
Right.
Who is?
Yeah, nobody.
I don't know.
I think it's going to depend on a lot of it. How are the girls? I mean, that's, at the end of the day, I keep saying this. My daughter told me last night. You say that all the time. I really do say at the end of the day.
At the end of the day.
So stupid. I'm sorry.
My word is, that's funny.
You say that all the time. Oh, that's all the funny. Time. You do say that. That's funny because you say that.
Told ya.
But your responsibility, number one, is not your sister.
Right.
It's the girls. And you know that. And you and your husband and your family, you've got that down. These girls are happy. They are excelling. Having mom move back into the picture is going to be slow, but I'm not worried for you. You're going to do just fine. And you're going to figure it out. And you're going to slowly allow the right thing to happen. And I think I have total faith in you for that. I do think that you're going to be
for that.
I think that
keep you
your
around.
anxiety is going to drive you insane. But you're going to be
But
fine.
my self-help books really help me with that.
I love a good book.
Hey, I'm
And
all
no, the
pro
answer's not
self-help.
always wine.
Well, not always.
But a lot of the time.
Sometimes it is. I refrained
I
from
have
drinking
faith
this
in
morning.
you, though. I do.
Only because I was going to the school afterwards, though.
Good call, Mom.
I felt like I could have used a little drink.
This evening.
Yeah. No, because you know what I'm doing this evening?
What?
I'm building a mission.
That's right.
And I'm making graduation caps for kindergartners.
That's fine.
Because I bit off more than I can chew. Honestly, the whole mission thing crept up on me. Like, I felt like I had more time than I actually did.
School's out in like 2 weeks.
Gosh. It's due tomorrow. Like, it has to
Nice.
be no later than tomorrow because open house is on Thursday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That'll do it.
Jeez. And we're having my kids' graduation party here at home in 2 weeks and 2 days. And my house is not
Where you want it to be?
done. Nope. I want to paint my whole house.
Oh, wow. Don't do that. Don't bite off that job.
I'm working on it.
Oh, my God.
My floors need to be stained, which is my kitchen's going to get done with that. And I have furniture coming in because
He says you're crazy.
this baby.
TT, you are crazy.
Eat you.
She's crazy.
So anyway, I have to learn how to compartmentalize. I'm terrible about that. My husband
You're
is
taking on too much responsibility
Bro.
right now. And
Well-
that's what we're talking about today.
well. I mean, as far as compartmentalizing, I feel like that's compartmentalizing.
Compartment. Yeah, no. You're good. Nope, I wasn't even going to try it. That was a definite no.
Compartmentalizing.
Compartment.
I gotta stop saying it.
At the end of the day, that's funny.
When
Okay.
I can't put things in their own little rooms and shut the doors. That's the definition of the word I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I can't do that. My husband's a pro at that. He can walk away from that and start this project. He's done with that. Close that door and go right over here. And his emotions are left in those rooms.
He's done with it.
Completely done. Me, I am all over the place. I am in every room stressing about every mess in each room. It's ridiculous. I think it's a woman thing.
Yeah, and I think it may be in our genes because I'm the exact same way, and my husband and kids will tell you that I'm the same thing.
Okay. Well, I was trying to go with the type A, type B, but you're type A and I'm type B. So
Yeah, so I think that maybe is just a woman thing.
very well could be.
Could be, yeah. But again, I mean, this is where responsibility not only for your home life,
Well,
your
because
mom
it
job.
messes with that.
Yeah,
is
it
what I
does.
was
It
trying to
throws it
get
off.
at.
Yes,
it
does.
throws it off because I feel like I could easily fall into like a bit of depression when I get too much anxiety. And when I have any type of depression going on, I don't want to get anything done. Like I get tired, really tired, and I just
Yeah.
want to stop. So, and that messes with my life because I do let it bother me so much. And that's because I love her.
Of
I
course.
love my sister, and I want her better, and I want my nieces to have their mom back, and I want that life for them.
Yeah, I completely agree.
But on the other hand, I feel so responsible for those girls. They're mine.
Yeah.
I am their mom role, and they're my kids.
Yep.
2 years is a long time to be responsible for somebody and then just to
Absolutely.
let that go. So it's going to be a huge adjustment letting go of that responsibility if it comes down to that. Because I know that's the right
Oh,
thing.
gosh.
I know it's good for her, for them to have each other if she's doing good.
Right.
But I also
So-
know that they're really safe in my home.
Here's a random question that you probably don't have an exact answer to, but what kind of time frame do you, I guess it would be like internally, what kind of time frame do you give your sister for her doing well and allowing the girls to spend more and more time? I mean, is there like, okay,
You know-
after a month of her with the
You know,
job?
yeah,
how do
actually-
you figure that out?
I do have an answer for that because I've thought about it for a long time now, because she's not one to say, I'm an addict and I have a problem and I need help. She's denied it for years. So it would
She
always
can't admit
be
it
like, no, well, I mean, now she's doing much better. She's in counseling and she's been clean for about a month. And so she can now. I think that there are still some issues there that we need to work out, but I'm not going to get into that today.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm just kidding.
It's a good line. You know?
It is. Where was I going with this? Oh, I had an answer.
Right.
Okay, so I have an answer. So because it's always, I just need to get a job and I'm going to do this. Or I've moved into this house now and I'm doing so much better. So I want to spend more time with the girls. I want this. I want that because of this, because of that. And so I would always have to think, okay, so I can't just keep her kids from her. That's not healthy for anybody.
Right.
So we need to figure this out. And how are we going to do that? So there's not a time frame, actually. From what I can tell is going to be best, I can't put a time frame. It has to be stability. Just watch her stability.
Yeah.
And when I can tell she's got a good job, she's not hanging out with the wrong people, she's got a car or transportation of some sort, and a place to live, a good place to live, then it's just going to be about that feeling of trust.
So
when I
that's
have
basically your criteria.
that is my criteria.
Right, okay.
Yeah, that's not anybody else's.
Right.
That's mine. At this point, there is no court order for us. I have custody of the girls, and that's it. She doesn't have anything at this point.
Right.
Until she, can straighten up and
Sure.
get back into court. But I'm hoping we can avoid that, because as long as she's good, we don't need that.
Right.
I'm more than willing to work with her as long as it's not causing any issues for my family.
Right. It is such a hard thing. I mean, I'm sure she thinks about it, especially now, being where she is and having nothing but all day and all night to think about it. I'm sure it's definitely probably weighing on her, like, how I've got to get this going. I've got to figure out my life and do this, so that she can hopefully take that responsibility back on. I hope that for her sake she is, and for the girls' sake, because like you said before, they need their mom.
Yeah.
As well as they're doing here, and as great of a mom as you're being to them now in your home.
I'm not their mom.
Yeah.
I'm not. And I feel that.
Yeah.
And I know they feel it. We do our best that we can to make sure they're fully integrated into the family.
Yeah. You guys do a fantastic job at that. They're
you.
not your nieces.
No.
They're your kids.
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. Yeah, and that's how we treat them. Everybody gets treated the same straight across the board.
Mm-hmm.
But I know it's different for them. It has to be. I couldn't imagine living with my aunt growing up.
Yeah.
Couldn't imagine it. And I was with her all the time, but I still couldn't imagine it. I wanted my mom and my dad. I wanted to be home. So there's that.
And this is the responsibility that is now in your lap. These girls.
Yeah.
For mistakes that their mom has made.
And
it's your responsibility to fix it.
Because I chose that. My husband and I chose to take on that responsibility. It was, I just got super dizzy. I'm sorry. I just lost, vertigo or something. I don't know what's happening. Carry on, Malia.
Yeah, you guys chose as a couple, and as a family to take that responsibility, which is not an easy thing. And you guys will continue it through, in hopes that she can be, again, responsible for the babies.
I feel, and I guess I hope, that they will always know that this is their home, even when they're with their mom. So
I don't doubt that.
If they feel, like they need a hideout, or just, all teenagers need that at some point, that they know that they could come to us. And so that's my hope. My
this
wish.
will always be their home.
I feel like
they feel
would
loved.
Know that.
They feel safe. Oh my gosh. The idea of feeling safe as a child, if you've never had a parent with an addiction problem, You don't know. And you even touched on it last week, saying that you always knew where your parents were. You had that safety aspect.
Yeah.
Those girls have that safety aspect with you and your husband here in this home, in their home.
Yeah.
They're going to forever remember that, and they're going to forever want to come back to that safe zone. You guys have done so great for them. I'm, like, super impressed, and I've told you this before. Like, I'm so proud of you and him. Like, you guys have totally taken them on, and they're not your nieces. They're your kids.
Yeah,
and,
they are.
And it's totally, it's awesome. It's such an awesome thing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love her. So responsibility as the family member to the addicted is huge. It's something that just comes naturally to most people, and I feel like it's a little bit more difficult for my husband for a couple of reasons, because not towards the girls now, but towards my sister. Any type of responsibility towards my sister now, he struggles with. And I think it's because he's a man, and two, because it's just that it's not in him.
Right.
He doesn't have that loving nature bone in his body unless it's for his kids and me, of course.
Yeah.
But mine goes out to everybody. I mean, I see a woman walking on the street who's clearly an addict. I want to give her a coat. You know, like
Right.
Those things cross my mind constantly. I feel responsible to people who have issues. I don't know
You
why.
feel responsible to save people.
I do. I want to save the world. I can't. I
You
got
cannot
from
do
my
that.
mother. But I do want to. I mean, I see those babies on TV, and I want them.
I know.
I see those
I know.
animals on
I
the TV,
know. My
and I want to
goodness.
go get them every time. Like the Today Show or whatever has those little cute puppies on and says, "Oh, he's our featured dog of the day." I want to call in and get him. And if I did
I'll
that,
take that featured dog of the day.
I would have like 1 million dogs. So
and babies and addicts and homeless people, you'd have them all.
I do have
But
that.
That's not a negative.
Well, I mean, it could be,
but you're smart enough to not allow it to happen, to
Yeah.
not get crazy.
Not get crazy.
And you know what? It's empathy, and that's a really nice character to have as a person.
It is.
So, you know
It
what?
is.
It's okay that you're empathetic towards people.
You are
and that
too.
you love.
You have that. You know exactly what I'm going through. Oh, and to speak of our rough day, so I knew that my hair was up, and I like it better when I have hoop earrings on. Doesn't that look so much
Oh my
better?
God, they're so pretty.
So I bought these today specifically for this show, and I go to put them in, and they're clip-ons. I can't wear
Old lady earrings.
They
Sorry,
are.
that's rude.
It was rude.
I'm old, so I can say it.
But you don't wear clip-ons.
I don't wear clip-ons.
They pinched the crap out of my ear, and I couldn't wear them.
It was all like cockeyed and hanging out the wrong way.
Yeah,
I'm like, no.
she was like, just go look at yourself, because I put them on without looking. So that's part of my crazy day. Ridiculous. So before we go, we did kind of talk a lot and ran over just a little bit. We're getting close to the end here. But I told you guys last week about the scholarship, the SA scholarship for college students that are the family members of the addicted. Where you can go is youcaring.com. And
Y-O-U.
yes,
right? Okay.
Y-O-U, caring.com.
Okay.
And they have their donation center set up there. So if any of you feel the need, the responsibility, just kidding, it's
To
not a
help
responsibility,
others.
but if you feel the need or have the desire to help these kids in getting a larger scholarship, we would be grateful for
It's
that.
pretty
because
awesome.
It's a very cool thing that this couple is doing for these kids, and I know I'll be going and making a donation myself, and plus it's a tax write-off, so there
Yes.
you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome to have. So I am going to see if I can get a little trickier. I did figure out how to, this way, put the subscribe button on our actual show. So subscribe right here, not on the baby, but on that right there. You just have to click that button and you can subscribe.
Woo-hoo.
So I'm pretty awesome like that. I also figured out how to title our shows.
We're going to be like pros.
So working on this.
Yeah, seriously.
So if I can figure out how to add a link like right here, I'm terrible with my backwardsness. Right there, I'll add it.
Yeah.
And then you can just click on that and donate. No. Yes.
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 Donate to
Click
You
on that
Caring.
to donate to youcaring.com.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, that is our charity of the week. And thank you, Mr. Dan, for doing that. I don't have your full name.